going on, everybody? You are live with Osiris. Welcome to the Author's Lounge. The world is filled with storytellers, and I, along with my guests, are here today in the Author's Lounge to help educate and inspire the young generation of writers and creators. Now, my guests are professionals in publishing, writers from a wide range of formats, and successful entertainers. They will provide beneficial advice on what to do and what not to do on your path to success. So, without further ado, I'll present to you our next guest. Let's go. Thank you all so much for just taking a moment out of your day to tune in to today's show. I have another special guest here with me, and I am really grateful to have her on today's show as she is going to bring a different type of experience here. Without further ado, let me introduce our guest. So, let me just give you some bulletin points so I can hop right into it. She is a Full Sail University alumni. And for those who don't know, Full Sail University is in Florida. I don't know if there's multiple locations, but I know Florida is one of the main ones. For creatives out there, that is a great school to go to. She has also worked on she has also worked on Netflix. She has also worked with Netflix. I'll let her get more into that when we talk about her Netflix and her experience with them. And as well, she also runs her own website, is a creative platform. And again, I want to save all the nuggets for her to be able to explain it. So she's lived in places like New York, Florida, Los Angeles. Well, I said Florida, Miami to be specific, Los Angeles, and some cities in New York. You know, it's a big spot. You can never know which one it is. So, hey, without further ado, I present to you the wonderful Crystal Cabrae. Thank you so much. Thank you to your husband for letting me have you on the show for a little bit.
Of course, I'm so happy to be here.
Yes, ma'am. So, hey, right out the gate, I want people to know that is like how important networking is. So you and I, we met through LinkedIn because of networking, and I actually don't even know at what point we met, but I know we met recently, and you saw what I was doing. I went and did some research on you and saw the amazing work that you've put in, and thought this would be a really good combination to see if we could create some magic for the world to be able to experience. So again, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, of course. I when I saw the work that you were doing, I was like, oh my gosh, this is like, I felt like the not the to be like all dramatic, but like the stars literally aligned because I was in the midst of doing my own work and I wasn't necessarily like putting myself out there and looking for anyone else, but then like literally 2 3 months in of me just browsing around trying to be a little bit more friendly on the socials, I was like, hello, kindred spirit,
Yes.
welcome. Like,
Welcome aboard. You're
yes.
trapped now.
It just feels like we're like on the same like trying to trek the same journey, like,
Yeah.
and when you're working alone it's like you're in the void, but as soon as you see, it's like we're all doing the same thing.
Yeah,
Hooray.
no, for sure, for sure. And the journey on this, whether you're in the entertainment business or not, the journey to become successful can be really tricky, but especially depending on where you're going and depending on what you look like, could also really be a barrier. I'm a firm believer in just breaking down barriers and not being the first of something or the last of something, but being your own individual and then shaping your own lane. And then whoever follows in that lane follows in that lane. But your lane is shaped a bit differently from than other people who I've spoken to. So you actually went to school, Full Sail University, got your education there. Please explain a little bit about what you did in that school and what degrees that you obtained at Full Sail.
Yeah, so I took the online route because by the time that I had, circled around to Full Sail, I had already had gone on a journey trying to be an actress, and the whole self-discovery later, I was like, I'm all the way in New Jersey. This school is in Florida, but I'm not about to go all the way back home. So I took the online route, and I was so grateful that I did because it gave me the opportunity not only to like figure out where I wanted to go, where I was already at, instead of having to like pack my whole life and go to school.
Mhm.
It also like made me being in the creative writing BFA program.
Mhm.
I was able to say, I'm not in the right state. And it wasn't that I had to go to Florida to go to Full Sail. I had to truck
Yeah.
my happy self to LA and get where the animation industry was, where the writers were,
Mhm.
where the people were.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
me
Yep.
staying in New Jersey was not going to help my cause, but
Yeah.
having the flexibility to say, all right, I'm a student. I am clearly a novice. I am not at the start of my journey, but I am at the start of this journey. So I
Yeah.
have to like have some patience with myself. And once I had actually obtained my BFA, I didn't get to go to the graduation because by then I was already in LA and I was like, I'm in the thick of things. I can't just go. I can't do it.
Yeah.
So I had my little celebration in my living room and I just kept doing what I was doing. But to obtain that for myself, it wasn't even like, yes, my industry required me to have some type of bachelor's. I wanted the BFA because that was just my path. But
Yeah.
to have that and say, I'm one step closer, like
Hmm.
it may just be a piece of paper now, but I did
Yeah.
it.
And it's a huge accomplishment too, because many people don't even finish school, and not that like school is end all be all, like you absolutely need it.
Yes.
But some people want it, or some people require it, or it's just a target that people shoot to, to shoot for and obtain it. And so with with school, it's funny because Full Sail, I had actually looked into Full Sail University myself, the online portion of it, like back in 2007, after I graduated high school. My dad had had introduced me to Full Sail, but my mom at the time wasn't for it. She's like, "No, he's not going to be. There's no dorms over there. He's not going to be living in an apartment, and that young life, and you kind of you get influenced by your parents before you know better." But so spoiler alert, I never actually went to the school, but the idea to go back to that school came a couple of years ago, and I was doing some research in it. But then I was thinking, I'm not too sure if this is a route that I want to take because I don't know what it looks like, and I have a whole family to support. And so I'm like, I don't necessarily know how do I line up going for creative writing, same that you did, and how does it align? But then eventually it becomes about no, you just got to take a chance. Much like yourself, you took a chance on yourself, and it got you to go places. Now, how has the creative writing degree helped for those who are going to go to school? Right? They look at this and they say, "Hey, Crystal went to school. She got a BFA in creative writing. How can I like benefit from it as well?" So, how has having that BFA in creative writing helped you in your career?
I will say that it has opened a lot of doors because when I was a student, there was a lot of opportunities. Had I been, I don't want to say a little younger because I was like to put into perspective, I was in the middle of my 20s. Like I wasn't 18 just coming into Full Sail like, like I had already lived like a whole different life before Full Sail. So I had already had the idea of everything that I am learning because when you do the online portion, every month is a different class or two classes. Um so everything that I was learning, I was taking to heart and seeing how can I incorporate this? Like I was in copyright class, like I this is not my cup of tea, but I need to learn this because I need to be my own editor. So it was like picking apart every single class to benefit me. And then once I finally graduated and like let my mind settle on everything I learned, I was like,
Mhm.
okay, this this is the path I want to take, which is, animation, fiction writing, all that
Yeah.
jazz. But I also need to play it smart and take all the things that I learned about like marketing and like just having a presence in the industry and bump it up a notch and actually go to an industry event even if I fall flat on my face, which
Mhm.
spoiler alert I did, but it's fine.
It happens.
And like I mean, look, I would rather fail on the first try than like have the confidence to like succeed and then fall flat on my face the fifth try and be like,
Yeah.
I'm terrible. So I say all that to say when I was just about to wrap up my time with Full Sail, I saw that they were doing the Netflix very first round of the Netflix foundations, and they wanted diversity and this, that, and the third. And I was like,
Mhm.
I'm a try because I had just done my script writing class.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, why not? And then, lo and behold, I got in. I was grateful to not only do that, but also was a part of a master class. Like, I love how in the beginning you clarified that, and I was so grateful because I didn't work for them. I worked with them as a
Right.
mentee because that distinction they were like, please don't say you worked. I was like, okay, I'm sorry.
Hey, but it's still experience with them, you know?
Yes, it's invaluable because they had all of us, like, because uh hopefully my memory is not skewed, but they had all of us that were a part of the animation process
Hmm.
together on the first, last, and I think like one day in the middle. And
Hmm.
they went through the entire process, all of us together. Because when you work in like animation, it's like one person's all the way over here and one person's all the way over there. And like, there's not enough. I mean, I've, again, never been in the studio, but from what I have humbly learned, it's not always everyone is always together all the time 24/7.
Right.
So it was nice to be like, oh, look at all of us together in one room.
That's I love hearing things like that because it shows that you took full advantage of the opportunities that came from you. Some people graduate and they do nothing with their degree. They do absolutely nothing with their degree, or not even that they don't just do nothing with their degree, but they don't even use the degree that they went to school for and use it in the real world for whatever the reasons are. But I mean, I guess that's the same thing. But pretty much what I'm getting at is you actually got the BFA in creative writing and you stuck on that path in some form or fashion, went into animation, but you allowed that degree to route you there. Some people go to school, I don't know, to be let's say, I don't know, a judge because their parents were in that industry, but they don't have an interest, but they really are into fitness, so they want to be some sort of a fitness physical I don't know physical therapist, but they go to school for something separate, but they don't do what they set out to do in school. But for you, you did that, and I think it's also important to point out one thing that you said was you went to the area where they are, and I remember hearing this quote was on Spider Man. Long and behold, it was on Spider Man and on a video game, and Mary Jane had I don't know. Peter Parker was trying to get Mary Jane to come live with him, but she lived in Manhattan, and she said, "No, Peter, I gotta go where the action is." So she chose to live in Manhattan, where she can go and do her theater, her stage plays, and it's to that point, which you said, you went to where the action was at, and I've said that to my wife, I said that to some friends, I said that to people in the industry that in order to really you could be successful from afar, but if you really want to get into it, you have to go where the action is. So I really like that you pointed that out about going where the action was at. So with that, with your Netflix experience, right, how has that helped you with your own business that you do? Definitely would love for you to talk about that and the website behind it.
Yes, I will say it has given me a broader perspective of what we need as an industry because in my very short time out there, I was able to meet so many phenomenal people. Like I can't even express how humbling it is to go out to a state. You have no one but like you, your husband, and your dog. And everyone that you meet is very opening,
Mhm.
like not opening, very open
Yeah.
to you being a part of this 100+ year old industry, and to be able to talk to people like you had known them forever and
Hmm.
really, understand people on a personal level. It was so like breathtaking, especially being a part of like I went to a screening of Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, and
Yeah.
that like,
Love
oh
that
my
guy.
gosh, that floored me.
Yeah.
They had an interview at the end with him, and I was like enamored with every little word he was saying because he was, telling the truth about the industry, and seeing that not even just the animation industry, but just like the entertainment industry as a
Hmm.
whole is like losing its special sauce because,
Yeah.
everyone's focused on the wrong things. And there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of strife, there's a lot of anger. And it takes away from the quality of the work. And when you sit there and you do the work and you take the time to say, it's going to cost a lot of time, of patience, all the, but it's going to be worth it. And it's going to mean something. It's going to be impactful. It's going to be here for not thousands of years, but like, it's going to be here long enough. to
Yeah.
inspire someone else to grab the torch. And
Mhm.
when the writing world essentially like turned on its head and started, going into uh I don't want to say riots, that is not the word I'm looking for. Um oh my gosh, they were what were they doing? Striking. They were striking,
Striking,
cheese
yeah,
and
a strike.
crackers. I'm like, the word just they were
It
not
went
rioting, they were
somewhere.
striking, and they were thank you. They were fighting for their rights. And in that, I feel like a lot of people's souls got hurt and crushed. And the art, like, no one wanted to do the art because it was like we were fighting for our lives at this point for months and months
Yeah.
and months. And it was one of those things that it ultimately led me to have to leave LA and take a step back to really understand, all right, I still want to be a part of this industry, but this industry is literally crumbling at my feet. I can't stay
Hmm.
here and watch this crumble. I gotta figure some things out. I gotta go home. And once I did that and took a step away, I was like, what do we need
Hmm.
as a unit? What do we
Yeah,
need?
yeah.
And I was like, we need more storytellers.
Hmm.
And that is a very large category because that can be journalists, that can be novelists, that can be bloggers, that can be vloggers. Like,
Uh-huh.
we just need more storytellers. And when I decided to start Storyteller Planet, I wanted to make a safe space for storytellers of any capacity because, as we see, the world turns on a dime, and one day we're all inclusive, one day we're not all inclusive. And I
Hmm.
wanted there just to be a space that's like, you don't gotta worry. Like, you're okay, you're good
Yeah.
here. And, just that little idea just kind of snowballed into mini courses and, free writing journals, which I call word vomiting journals because free writing's messy and crazy. So, building up from there, I realized that I want to take the approach of, yes, you can learn grammar over there, but I need you to learn the heart of storytelling here. I need you to understand
Yep.
why you want to tell stories. Why are you here? What brought you here? And work from there instead of just being like, yeah, my English teacher in the ninth grade really told me I can't be a writer.
Yeah, and they tell most people that too. You,
Yes.
I'm like, there's this weird anomaly between creative writing and English teachers and and how they teach writing. It's just there's a dynamic there, and it just doesn't mix. And
It doesn't.
yeah, love to see them now. See, like, hey, look at us now. Yeah, we are doing much better than what you thought we would be doing. You know.
Yes, and it's crazy because, like, fun fact, at the start of my journey, when I was like, "Oh my gosh, I want to be a writer," kind of thing, um, my ninth grade English teacher was consistently giving me a C. I never got over a C, and after that, I was like, I'm never gonna be a writer.
Yeah.
I can't even get an A. Like, I got a C. Like, my dream just died right there.
Yeah. And she probably smiled at you too, like, yeah, I crushed them. That's exactly what I was going for. Eh,
Honestly, though, like with the red pen, like, you know what?
yeah. Oh, it made it bloody.
Here.
Yeah, like my niece, she's 15 years old, right? She's in 10th grade, and she came to me because she's like, Theo. For those who don't know, like Theo is uncle in Spanish, so she's like, Theo, I don't know what to do. My English teacher, I'm not doing too good, so I saw her paper. I'm like, let's fix that because it was bloody. That's for those who don't know. That term is when they put the red
What?
ink over the paper and it just looks like a massacre. It was bloody.
Can't even read what
Um,
you wrote. Like,
yeah, but funny thing is that she actually has a book. It's called Adi's Wish. Yeah, and I'll have to tell you about it once this recording is over. But she's doing she's doing quite well for herself. So so much for the. So just not to give English teachers a bad rep by any means. I don't want teachers because some teachers might see this and say, "Are you bashing us?" No, 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 no. It
no.
just so happens that there are a couple of English teachers out there who, in my experience that I've had, and there's only been a couple that aren't necessarily a big fan of creative writing. But it's not every teacher out there.
Yes. Yeah, no, that's true. Like, in just in high school alone, the four English teachers that I had, only one of them doubled as the well, I mean, I know you can't have more than one creative writing teacher in a very small school, but there was only one of the four English teachers that volunteered to be the creative writing elective teacher. And
Mm.
his approach in his actual class was very different than all the other teachers. Everyone else was like, I don't even want to try to give them a bad rep now that I'm thinking about it, but they were
Yeah.
very cookie cutter, red penning it up. And this other teacher was like, we're going to read books that make us feel alive. Like,
Hey, you actually brought up a good point too about doing some soul searching because some people, when it comes to any format, um, they may be misguided as to like where's the heart and soul into it. Well, a lot of people, especially now with AI, AI has always been a thing, but it's a bit more prominent now with the creative space, and it's I won't say that it's easy to detect an AI writer. To me, I don't know how you can detect the two, but I know through poetry, for example, if you're reading poetry, and a lot of poetry is a lot of heart and soul into it, and AI's writings is generally just dry. And at some point, you might either see that I don't know if this was generated via AI or if the person who wrote it just writes dry, but the two there's a clear distinction between heart and soul versus there's none at all. And so I agree with you on that about going back and doing some soul searching, leaving Los Angeles and going back to where you went to. So that brings me to this point. You have your storytellers website. You have your background in animation. So what are you working on now?
well,
Okay.
um, I'm working on a few things. In my mind, there's always two paths. There's the Storyteller Planet path, and then there's the crystal, magical, fantasy world path.
Yeah, yeah.
And the for Storyteller Planet, what I'm currently working on is introducing some of the residents. If you follow on a few of our socials, I'm introducing some of the residents there because it is a planet. Like, some people set out to make a website. I made a planet
Uh
because I can't do nothing simple, apparently. So
huh.
I decided to, give, whole lives to these characters. So when you go on the website, you will see like Tales and Tidbit. They run the newsletter. You have Story, who's about to release her mini course. And it makes it feel more personable instead of just me being like, hey, here's all the things I learned. It's like, no, these are like personalities that if you're going to be a copywriter, this is probably what you're going to do. If you want to be like a blogger who travels and this, that, and the third, this is probably the personality you're going to maybe want to conjure. Like giving
Yeah,
you a broader perspective of not only like, this is what you got to do, but this is what you also have to embody. You feel me?
yeah.
So the rest of the year is basically rolling out all the mini courses. So after Story, who teaches all about personal branding.
Mhm.
Then Drawn's gonna do like advanced character and world building development, which that is like my bread and butter. So that's gonna be a lot of
Yeah.
fun. But on the Crystal side, I
Uh huh.
just released a novella called "It's Only for Forever," and it's
Ooh,
my favorite 130 little page manuscript I have ever written in the
there
last
it
10
is.
years. Like, they're just perfect, honestly. Like, not to toot my
Yeah.
own horn, but like, honestly, the characters that came out of this book really like set the course for all the books that I'm going to write after because
Mhm.
it's all one universe. And the stories that I was like writing before was kind of like getting your feet wet, like trying to test out, like it just felt like test kitchen. Everything that I was writing was like test kitchen. And then
Yeah.
It's Only for Forever came out and I was like, all the work I put in, it was just
Yeah.
worth it for this one thing.
That's awesome. That's crazy good. Oh, so fantasy is a whole different dynamic.
Oh
That's
yes.
not even something I pretend to be a genius in because I am not. I'm not at all. I got a buddy of mine, NK Nash. He's really into fantasy, and but world building is a different entity all in itself. Do
Oh
you have any issues with killing off your characters? I'm not saying kill off your characters, but like,
no, see, some people take the easy route and kill off their characters, right? See, I will put my characters to the brink of death and then bring
oh,
them back only to
Okay.
make them suffer more.
Oh, that's diabolical.
I mean, if you kill them off, then you can't use them again. Like,
That's true too. Yeah, you're like, you know what? This character, you were. I'm gonna have some fun with this one. So the novella, so I mean, you already broke down a little bit about the novella, but where can people purchase that novella?
so if you go to Storyteller Planet and you go to Fantasy Island, that is where you can find all of my works. I hope one day to be able to have like other works on there that kind of mesh in with the world, because it's not just like all these stories are just like random stories. They all connect. So if there was ever someone who was interested in like saw all my lore and was like, oh my gosh, I want to do a story, blah 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 blah. Hopefully, it will end up on there because
Yeah.
I would love that. But for now, it's just me, and you can, if you are part of the support squad, you automatically get access to anything that I put on there. Um, Currently, it's only for forever is an ebook and paperback available on Amazon. I say that hesitantly because I know everyone is boycotting Amazon right now.
Oh
But
boy, I didn't know that. Oh gosh.
yes, it's I mean, I understand the world's problems. I'm not going to, I'm not going to be ignorant to them, but I publish through KDP. I can't really get around that. Like
Yeah.
there's only so much you could do with that. And that's why I offer the I call it the unofficial digital copy, because eventually all the stories that end up on in Fantasy Island end up in a paperback or ebook. So
Uh-huh.
like Enamored right now is the next book that's about to come out, and you could get like the first two chapters for free, but you have to be like a member, like
Yeah. Yeah.
so
That's your baby right there. That website.
yeah, because I mean, honestly, it's not even like to be a monopoly of sorts. It's literally like I was initially partnering with the online platform that Amazon had, which was Kindavella.
Yeah.
It didn't do so well, and then it just disappeared. I'm like, I can't afford to put all my effort into one thing and then it just evaporate. Like
Yeah. Yeah. No, tell me about it. Yes.
I would literally like cry. Like if Wix went down tomorrow, I don't know what I would do, but
Me too. That's what my website is based on is Wix. Like, please.
at that point, I'll just be a strawberry farmer. Like, you know what? We
Oh
don't we
yeah.
don't need to tell stories. I'll just go make some strawberries or
No,
something.
I'll be like, yeah, maybe that teacher was right about something. Man, you know what? You know what? No, I'm gonna prove you wrong. No, but no, for sure. Okay, so aside from that, aside from where they can purchase your book, where else can people find you if they want to reach out to you directly?
Yeah, I encourage everyone to follow the Storyteller Planet Instagram and Threads, just because that's where like all the goodies are. Because if you look up on Instagram or Facebook, which I just got control of Facebook again, but that's a whole nother conversation. But on Instagram, I had a Crystal Cabrae account, and when I made it, I don't know exactly what happened, but it initially glitched out, and I knew that when I would eventually, trade my phone in, I would have to, put all the gits and gamma and get back into everything, and
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't going to be there. So that's why I put Storyteller Planet, so you could get all the information, get all the good stuff. But if you want behind the scenes shenanigans, in Lela Land is my personal account. That's literally if you want to see things before they appear on any other platform. That's where you're gonna find all the meat and potatoes, and to like reach me directly, because I've had that account for as long as I have been Crystal Cabrae. So
Yeah. Well, that's perfect. And so as far as our information goes to everyone listening, I'm going to make sure that it is linked in the description of the video and in the audio. And so for those who are also curious, this is going to be available in its entirety through YouTube and also on in audio format as well. So it's going to be a little bit of a list, but you're going to get YouTube. We got Instagram. This is what we're posting on Threads as well, Substack. We also got it on. We'll be on LinkedIn, on X, and then what else? I also have it on like Spotify, Pandora, Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio, and all these other spots. So if you want to either watch the video like what we're doing here, or if you just want to listen to us, it's available in all those platforms. So please just do us a solace and just take a good listen to it and check out her information again. Hey, before I let you go, any closing remarks, or better yet, any advice to anyone who is taking a similar path as you are, as you did with going to school and trying to make a career, being either in the entertainment business or in a book publishing business, or both altogether?
I would definitely say, before you commit to anything, school, moving, anything, literally do your research. We live in a fantastic age of information. Really sit down with what path you want to take and what is that going to entail. Because when I started my path, I was literally working at Target, talking to an English teacher, feeling like I couldn't write, feeling like a failure. And she was like, "You just got to start, girl. Like, calm down. Like, here's my card. Do you want to go to Rowan University?" And then I looked at Rowan and I was like, "I don't want to go to Rowan University. I don't want to go." And then Full Sail came and the rest was history. But honestly, just really taking the time to understand, like, do you need a degree to get to where you're trying to go?
Yeah.
Is there a different path for learning that will not put you in debt? Because do not put yourself in debt if you don't need to.
Hmm.
And what are the connections that you can make with the resources you have now? Again, we live in the age of information. Like, we literally connected through LinkedIn, and here we are doing our
Yep.
thing. And you never know when a simple hello, hi, I'm this, that, and the third, interested in this, that, and the third, can take you. So
Yeah.
just do your research and be open to opportunities. That's what I would say.
Yep, right there. I love that. Be open to opportunities. That's a great note to close it on. Hey, well, that's all we got for you all today. I definitely got to get you back on the show. But once your next book comes out. But hey, thank you all so much for taking the time out of your day to tune into today's episode. Don't forget to check out her information in the description of these episodes. And that's all I got. You all take care. Have a wonderful remainder of your day, and I'll see you next time.